too. People didn't know I was going live on Instagram too. You're amazing, Tavaria. Thank you. I am so super excited. Okay, so I'm just overwhelmed with this. I'm so excited to do this. This is going to be so exciting. I had a whole bunch of things I wanted to just open up with, and I forgot what they were. That's okay. We'll roll with it. I already did. This is the Japanese art Kintsugi. Sorry, I'm going to butcher the name the entire time. And what it is, it's an ancient, it's a centuries old. Thank you. Awesome. I'm so glad you can hear me. It's a centuries old way of restoring pottery. I have my notes because I'm not going to remember everything right off the bat because I get nervous. But it's a centuries old way of art of restoring broken pottery. And it's the history behind it, from my understanding, is back in the old times. I don't remember the king, what dynasty it was, but there was an emperor who had a bowl. It was a family heirloom, very cherished bowl, and beautiful, and it got broken. And so he wanted to have it fixed. And back in those days, in order to have it fixed, you sent it off to somebody and they'd put staples, metal staples in the ceramic to hold the pieces together. Well, when he got it back, he did not like the way that looked. He thought, like, well, this is not at all what I wanted. Oh, good. You can hear me there too. Yes. Thank you. So excited. You're awesome. He didn't like the way it looked. So he went and he found another person. What's that word? Contracted or whatever. He found another person and told the person, look, I don't like the way they repaired my bowl. This is very precious to me. It's beautiful. I don't like the way it looks. I want you to find me a new way of repairing this that will maintain the beauty. So the guy took it, and it took him a while, but he found a way of doing it. And what they do is use a lacquer to repair the ceramic. And the lacquer comes from a tree. And after they've taken so much lacquer from it, they cut down the tree because they see that lacquer as the tree's life. So once you've taken that lacquer, you've basically taken the life. So they get rid of that. So they cut down the tree. So they try not to use too much of it, but they really are trying to really work with nature instead of, hey, I'm just going to chop down all these trees just so I can do whatever I want with the sap, right? They're really caring about nature and trying to maintain that balance there. So the guy repaired the bowl with the lacquer, and in order to, with the cracks, instead of hiding the cracks and the scars, what he did was he used gold powder to fill in the cracks, which enhanced the beauty. It didn't hide the scars and the damage, the cracks. It enhanced that and let people know, you know what, this is even more beautiful now than when it started. And that's kind of what I mean, this is a little dirty. I need to clean it up a little bit more. But you kind of get the drift, like what it just looks. These are just a few pieces that I've done. Like I said, they need to be cleaned up a little bit more. But I'm going to do one with you guys live because I think that it's a beautiful thing, and it needs to be shared. And this whole process is basically the way we look at ourselves. This is the way I look at it. Let me rephrase that, okay? This is the way I look at it. Brand new plate, right? It's brand new. It's whole. There's no scratches, no nicks, cracks, no dings, no breakage, nothing. And this is kind of the way we come into the world when we're babies. Most of us, and not everybody, I understand that, but most of us come in the world where we haven't had that damage that life throws at us and the breakage. And so this is kind of what we look like. We're beautiful. We're perfect. And then life comes along, and I'm not going to do this on my table because obviously it's a glass table, and I'm going to play it smart this time and not do that because I have broken a glass table before not paying attention. So I've got my table here off to the side. I don't know if you guys can't, probably you can kind of see it. There we go. You can kind of see it. So I'm going to take this, which is our beautiful baby. It's perfect, right? And life comes along. And what I'm going to do is turn this over. Make sure it's covered. Life comes along. Got your hammer. We're going to break stuff. Yes! Okay, so one hit. It was a pretty hard hit. And that broke it. But as life goes along, as we're going through our life, that's what happens, right? We get hurt. We get broken. We're damaged. And then we're all these pieces. And then through our life, we have to find a way to put ourselves back together. And we're always worried about, I'm so broken. How do I do this? What am I doing now? How do I fix this? How can I heal from this that's going to make me strong enough to keep going? And this is I love this because as you're doing this, you can also think of this as a metaphor for your life. Okay, let me take the pieces of my life and I'm going to start piecing them back together. And then as you do that, in my opinion, you come up with something more beautiful. Not to say that somebody who's perfect isn't beautiful, but when you have the imperfections, you have more character. There's more character there that makes you more unique. You're not that cookie cutter. You're unique. You're ready to, take on the world, so to speak. And as Shabaria pointed out the other day, which I had thought of too, but I keep thinking of my cracks wrong. She said that a lot of times when you repair the cracks, you end up stronger than when you started, which is true because your cracks can be a learning experience where you can take that learning experience and improve on it and not do it, have to make that mistake anymore. Or you can readjust what you're doing in life and how you're thinking, and everything will be different, and it just makes you stronger and more beautiful. So you should never, never, never hide your flaws. Embrace them. Be willing to share them with other people. This is me. I am beautiful. I have been broken in the past, but you know what? I am stronger now because I know what not to do. I know what works for me, and I know how much my life, what it means to me and to other people. So that's what it means to me. So we're going to do this, but just really quick. In this glass, you can't see it because it's too far away, but some of these cracks have like big pieces that are missing. And I deliberately left mine. I did color them in with gold, but I did just deliberately leave those. But what you can do when you're doing this is you can either use like a crack speckle or some kind of thickener, something thick that you can add some of your paint to kind of tint it, to fill those in. And then after that dries, you can go back in with your paint and paint over it and not have the holes like I do. These holes in this cup don't go all the way through. but I left them because I think it adds more beauty to it. I really like that. In fact, like this bowl has the cracks, and I did the gold on there, but it's not as prominent as the cup. So some of your breakage, some of your damage is going to be more noticeable than others. And it's up to you how you're going to show that off and embrace that. So what we're going to do, I'm going to set these aside so they're out of the way. We're going to do our best to repair this. And now I've done this several times. That's why I've actually done 6 different things because when I do it, when I did the first ones, I wasn't making sure that all my pieces fit together before I put them together. So I would get pieces, I'd be piecing the bigger pieces together, and then I'd have pieces, the smaller pieces that didn't fit in. Like I couldn't put them back into where they belonged. So we're going to take a couple pieces at a time, and we're just going to really make sure that they fit. And I have my paintbrushes. This one I used for getting the dust off of the plate, the edges of the plates. So when we adhere that, they really stick well. This one I used for the painting the gold on. And then I also have sandpaper. Now I used this is a number 240, and this says P80. I used these on my dishes, and it did not scratch the dish at all. So, which I liked because I was worried about that, and which is another reason I kept trying different things to see what was going to work. And it didn't. Neither one of these scratched it. What they did do is take off the excess glue, because I'm really good at gluing everything except what I need. In fact, I was started doing videos and trying to record them to put, do a really awesome video and put on my YouTube channel. And ended up gluing my hair and everything except for the ceramic, which was fun. And sitting there losing my patience, thinking, oh, I need to get more patience. This is going to be horrible. But that's, so learn my lesson. So what I'm doing wrong here, if you see that I'm doing something wrong and I don't catch it, fine, fantastic. Learn from it, do something else. And then I'm using crazy glue because I did buy the super glue brand that says that it works on ceramics. And that's the one that only stuck 2 pieces of my ceramic together and stuck it neat everything else. So this one I found works better. And here in the US, you can get it at the Dollar Tree store, which is no longer $1, but still, this is the one that works that I liked, and I can control it better. I have a little less difficulties with sticking myself to everything else. And then I really just stick that pin in there to open that up. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and start with these. I just want to brush off any powder or anything that's on these pieces. So when I'm gluing them back together, we're not getting them, we can get a good adhesion, and they're not going to be loose. And you can decide, I'm not going to try sticking that little piece in there. I may, but for most likely I won't. And that's why I say you can find something else that's kind of thicker that you can use to fill in the holes. You can use any kind of lacquer or something you're going to use to fill in the holes. Me personally, if it's like a white, I would put a little bit of my paint in it to kind of tint it so it's not so hard to cover that later. But yeah, so this is pretty much what we're going to do. I'm trying to not mix up my pieces and get them all funky donkey. Okay, so I'm going to start with these two. Just putting my glue on there, and I got several of these just because I don't know how much it's going to take. I'd rather be safe than sorry. But when you do it, you want to make sure that your pieces line up. And it shouldn't take that long for it to completely set. It takes a few seconds, but not that long. Be patient. There's a few of the videos on YouTube that I was watching and got the idea to do this that are the Kintsugi. And they talk about it. And one is incredible because they kind of give the history of it. A couple of them do. But this guy's been doing this technique for over 25 years, and it's just handed down family member. And he says that it's all things are created and destined to be broken at some point. All things develop scars throughout their lifetime. Being broken is not a bad thing. It's being broken is not a bad thing. Being broken can, in some cases, make you stronger. And I'm looking off the side. I don't mean to be rude. I apologize. Not really. I just want to make sure what I'm doing, I'm telling you the right things. Most of it I can remember. Oh, please, glue. Because what I was doing last time, I was like tons of glue. I'm trying not to do that this time. Because then you got to go back and use the sandpaper. And that's what I was using the sandpaper for, to get most of the glue off. So I got glue everywhere. But I'm just helping put some extra of the glue on the outside and help reinforce that. Give it a couple seconds to glue, to set. I don't want to set it down on my towel. It'll end up sticking to the towel. Okay? Sometimes your broken pieces and your imperfections can be the birth of something new and more beautiful. And I think that it's all depends on your perception, how you perceive things, what you're going to do with it, how you're going to use that to your advantage, right? So you want to, it's like with everything. It's your life as a human being, whether it being changing your mindset to self-love, learning to love yourself more, or if it's your job, you have to be in a certain mindset to be able to do your job and be able to go to that every day and be able to function there. And then when you're going to start a new business, you have to have a certain mindset for that as well. So this is kind of like taking the pieces. If say like you want to start your own business, you have to take the pieces. You have this, when you start out, you've got this amazing idea, right? And you have no idea how to reach that, to start it. But when you start taking it down and pulling apart those, if you have a puzzle and you start putting those puzzle pieces together and you're learning on how to start and run that business, then it all comes together and creates something even more beautiful, right? So I think this kind of goes with just about anything in our lives. See, that's already set up. So did I just don't glue myself? I just picked it up wrong. Be smarter than the ceramic. You know what I mean? You have to be careful how you're picking up stuff, putting stuff together. I know that don't go there. What do you know? I lied, it does. You have to really have a lot of patience for this. And I love it. I think it's so nice. It really makes me think because I can take my broken pieces and start thinking, how can I fix this? How can I make what I've been through a positive instead of only thinking of the negative and only going for, focusing on that negative. So, you can do it. There you go. It takes a little time to get this all set up and done, but it's fun. It's amazing. Instead of covering up the flaws, Kintsugi beautifies the breakage. Beautifies the breakage. The gold highlights the fractures as an important part of the object's history. So these fractures that you are piecing back together, or if you're creating a new job or business, you're piecing these puzzle pieces together to create something absolutely amazing. And it's, it's just all perception, how you're going to work on that and how you want to enhance those pieces, those cracks. I had a ton of stuff to say. I'm doing amazing. It's okay. Let's see. Yeah. Covering the cracks transforms the object into something special, which can be preserved and used for a long time. So, yeah, just because something is broken doesn't mean it's not useful. Doesn't mean that it's not something that can be used and transformed and made to serve its purpose. Maybe its purpose was to be broken and to be put back together. Maybe it was, I'm going blank. It was made to be that way to teach you lessons, to show you that this is not over. Just because something's broken or you lost something or you don't know something doesn't mean you can't continue on and do better and have better than when you started. Right? Ooh, that scared me. It's okay. A little more time. I'm trying to rush things on. That's what I say. This takes a lot of patience. You just have to have patience. Helps me learn I need to have patience. Hi, Bumbos. My little dog in the background. Is he cute? I'm surprised she's standing there. She doesn't like to. She doesn't really like being on video or anything. It's your big debut, Mama. I just think that this project is amazing. I just love it. I know there's more to it that we can all learn from it. So the free gift is the Code to Client roadmap. It should be linked in the description. I think I pinned it in the comments or in the description. If not, I will get that on there. As soon as I can get this piece to stick, I can do that. We need more glue. Yeah, it's gonna need more glue. Oops. Glue in my fingers. Oh, sassafras. It's okay. We got it. No worries. Just add more glue to it. We will make it work. Just stay still. Isn't she cute? Yunji's in the bedroom sulking. She wants to go out to the park and run, and I haven't taken her in a while, so now she's in the bedroom getting upset with me. I need to tell. I'll probably take her later today. Take them both and let them run. Oh, Mama. I am not crazy. Don't look at me like that. They're so cute. So, like I said, yeah, you can basically use whatever color you want to paint over this. The Japanese use a gold powder. I'm obviously going a cheaper route because I don't have lacquer and gold powder at hand. But I'm using the gold paint, but you can use any color you want to with any dish you'd like to use and fix if it's been broken. Shushmita just messaged. Shushmita! I keep going blank. Yeah, embrace your scars. There's nothing wrong with having scars. If you're going to hide them and be ashamed of them, you really shouldn't. Everybody's got scars. Everybody goes through life. Everybody has things that are that they're ouch. Stuck my finger to the bottom of it. Everybody's got scars that they have to deal with throughout their life, and things they can improve on. You know, people are like, my mom used to get embarrassed with whatever was going on around her sometimes. She's like, this is so embarrassing. And I just realized one day that I was like, why should I be embarrassed? I don't understand that. Why should I be embarrassed? There's no point in being embarrassed because everybody at some point in their life goes through this. Everybody deals with this stuff. I think it's a human emotion, and I don't think that we should be worried about it too much, right? Embrace your scars. Shibarya says your imperfections are your power. Embrace it. Learn to use it. Learn to see the beauty that you not only are, but hold. The beauty that is you, that makes up you. And use it to your advantage. Please tell me you're glued now. See how I got glue everywhere? Can't say very well, but I got glue all over it. And that's okay because the sandpaper is going to get rid of that glue. This project is pretty time consuming, but it really makes you slow down and think and really work on things. It's like you just can't. Dad nabbit, you were having a hard time sticking. It will work. I was doing this on one of my videos. And like I said, I kept sticking everything else except the ceramic. I couldn't for the life of me get it to stick. I got two pieces stuck together, and then the third one just would not stick. And I'm sitting here thinking, this is not the same glue. This last time, the other times I've used it, it's worked really well. So it will work. But when you're using an adhesive, you want to make sure that it is an adhesive that says that it will work on ceramic. Keep adding more glue to help support it. You just have to have patience and let it set up. It will work. I was afraid when I was doing that cup because some of the pieces, if you look at it closely, some of the pieces, like the big rectangle right there, triangle, that's actually sticking out a little further than the rest of the cup. It's not flush with everything else because I got it. It was like one of the last pieces I put in there, and it wasn't, and it should have been before like the bigger pieces, and I didn't do that. And I keep thinking when I was sanding it, I kept thinking this is going to fall apart. This is going to fall apart, and it didn't. It really didn't. It worked. This stuff works good. You just have to have the patience to sit here and hold it and know what to talk about. Sing a song? Are you crazy? I'm not that good at singing. I walk around singing all the time, and I'm not that good at it. I have people sit there, you need to stop now. I was on a date a few years ago with this guy. And I was just sitting in the truck, and this song came on that he and I knew from years ago. And I started singing, and he goes, "Okay, that's enough," which is okay because it was fun anyway. I thought it was funny. Sing a song. Shibaria is the singer. She's the singer. She remembers the songs. I don't remember all the words to the songs. I can sing something if I have it playing. In fact, I thought about putting on some Japanese music just like in the background. But then I kind of thought you might not be able to hear me as well if I did that. But we're going to have fun with it. Make it work. It'll be fantastic. Everything is going to be amazing. People think I'm crazy because I'm like, I no longer accept anything less than amazing. They're like, oh, that's cool. I had one client I was at her house, and she has registered nurses come out every so often to check on her and make sure everything's okay and see if she needs anything, and just kind of pretty much change things out if she needs certain things done that I don't have the license to do. And the first time I met him, he was like asking how we're doing, and he was having a terrible day. He was just having an off day. And I'm like, I am amazing. I am absolutely fantastic. And he's like, oh, you're an optimist, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am. He goes, oh, I hate optimists. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's so cool. I don't understand why, but okay. And then every time after that, a few other times after that, before he really got to know me, he'd come over and, oh, you're that optimist, aren't you? Yes, I am. Come on. You can do this. You were meant for this. We are meant for this. There you go. Now stay. He just learned after a while that no matter what he said, I had something positive to say, and kind of drove him nuts, which is nice. I come from such a negative background, and I didn't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way. So, we're reframing our mind, right? Our mindset, changing everything, becoming better, stronger, more positive. I work for a lady right now that, it's really hard when you're around other people and they are really negative. And we have to separate ourselves from that. And that sometimes we just can't separate like we'd like to. But as long as you're positive, you can inject a little positivity into somebody else's life and do it in a gentle manner. I try to do it in a manner where they don't really realize that I'm doing it. It just kind of slips in there. I was at my client's house the other day and we were talking about having energy, and I don't remember the entire conversation, but she's like, can you imagine? Because I have a lot of energy. When I lose weight, I have like a ton of energy and I can't sit still. It's like I have to keep moving. Something has to keep jiggling or moving or something. And she's like, can you imagine if you did do drugs? You would be a nightmare. It's like, yeah, I would. But yeah, this is gonna work. Please just stick for the video. Quit sticking to everything else. Stick to each other. Be friends. Love one another. I get this glue everywhere. In the videos on YouTube that they're doing this, they even say that it's a time-consuming project. It does take a while. It takes a long time to kind of get the hang of doing it and get everything stuck together enough where you can continue adding pieces and then sanding that down. So when you're sanding it down and you're taking the glue off, you're basically giving it it's not only making it look nicer, but it's taking off that excess, that brushing away the I want to say non-damaging things. I don't think that sounds right. It's not really what I wanted to say. Or dripping. Dripping. Sing a song. You're funny. I think I've said it on a couple lives before. When I was, I'm almost a Jill of all trades. I've learned how to do a lot of things in my life. And I was going to what's called Style Masters. It's a beauty college for cosmetology. And I was terrified to cut hair. And we had to do it on these mannequins, and then we had to do it on a live person. And I was terrified. I was like, oh, what if I mess up? And then I kept thinking, it's only hair. It's only hair. But there's this story about this little engine that could. And it's a little train, and it was a circus train, and it would go up these deep, steep hills and down these, hills and valleys and all over the country. And it was, and when it was loaded down with everything, had a hard time going up these steep hills. These hills were really steep, and it's really heavy cargo. And it kept saying, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, and inching its way up, right? And this is what we do with things in life and how we, can view anything. We're inching our way up this hill, slowly carrying all this burden or all of these tasks and things we have to do. And I was getting ready to cut this hair, and without me realizing it, I kept saying, I know I can, I know I can. And so I changed it from saying, I think I can, because I didn't want to just think I could. I wanted to know I could. So I started saying, I know I can, I know I can. And I rocked it. I cut really well. Cut that person's hair really, really well. It went fantastic. My instructor walked up to me a couple days later when I was doing it again, saying it again, and she's like, you're our little engine that can. It's like, okay. So, yeah, life is just perception. It's all based on perception. And I love this because you like puzzles, keeps your brain thinking, keeps you moving forward, figuring out the best way to make things work. Don't move around. Quit moving. Keep hoping some of this glue will sink into those cracks even more, because I want to move around. But like I said, it's time consuming. At least I'm not sticking my hair to everything. Right? I want to do that. Don't do that, Dad burned it. Stay. Snicker frets. Time consuming. Let's hope I don't glue it to the table. That's gonna be funny. Well, time flies when you're having fun. So your Holds a Client roadmap should be in the description. I was going to pin it there again. I don't know if I can get it on that one. I think I can. will definitely be posted in Facebook. And then once I can get this video finished, I will be putting it in my YouTube. So if you can't catch it live, you will be able to see it, the replay, on my YouTube channel, and you will be able to still get your free gift. Yeah. In the description on the YouTube channel, I will put the free gift in there, the Cold to Client roadmap there, and I want to pin the other videos, YouTube videos that I watched that have this technique on there. I'm running out of glue on this one. There it is. So you guys can go and watch that if you'd like to. They're really interesting. I love watching things and creating things with my hands. I also want to do some videos where, because I was a cake decorating instructor for a little over a year, and I want to do some creating some gum paste flowers. And I've got some other projects and stuff I want to do, so we're going to have fun with it. Everything just takes time, but I'll get it all going, and yeah, this is going to take a while. Getting the glue all over my table. The good thing is the glass table, so I can find something and get all that off there. Like maybe use some Goo Gone or something to get it off. And we need another thing I'm going to glue. That glue's finished. Hopefully I'm not boring everybody. It's okay. Life's hard. So, you think about doing something like this and using it as a way to kind of represent you putting yourself back together in your life and figuring out your changes and stuff, how you can not gluing those pieces together. Seriously, stay. Just forgot what I was trying to say. Yeah. Well, anyway, we should never hide our flaws. Don't hide your flaws. Embrace them. It just makes you stronger. Hey, guys. My phone's really far away, so I can't see the names on that, but so glad you guys are here. Thank you guys for joining. I'm being patient. Trying not to glue this plate to my table. Some of the pieces are sticking really well, and then there's a couple of others that are being a little more difficult. Give me a second. I can get it to stay there. to, come on, stay there. This is the technique. Those of you who are just tuning in, it's called Kintsugi. And what it is it's Japanese art technique, centuries old, where they take broken pottery and stick it together with lacquer. And then they enhance the cracks with gold powder. And it's basically to symbolize that everything in life at some point is created and destined to be broken, right? And we can put ourselves and the things back together, and they preserve them, be used for years to come, long time. But it's also to show that something that's broken can still be very beautiful. Sometimes can even be more beautiful than when it started, right? When I started these, to me, these are gorgeous. I love this. I love that the gold enhances everything. And when I started, they were just plain black, boring black. It's shiny, but it's just plain boring black. And now they've got the cracks and they've got the filler and they've got the paint on them. It's really enhanced. To me, it's enhanced the look. I like the look that it is given. Some cracks aren't as, prominent as others. And I know these need to be cleaned up. But I like it. I like the look of it. I like the way they look. And in a lot of times, when you piece these back together, they become stronger than when they were started. So it's an amazing technique. The Japanese have been doing it for centuries. And I was telling when I first started how this technique came about. And how it came about was that there was an emperor back in, I don't remember which dynasty it was, but there was an emperor back in the old times that had a bowl. It was a family heirloom, and it meant a great deal to him. It was very precious gold to him. And it somehow got broken. So he sent it off to get fixed. And back in those times, the way they fixed it was they took where the cracks are, they took and put metal staples in the pottery to stick the pieces together. So when he had it fixed and they sent it back to him, it had these staples in it, and he didn't like the way it looked. So he commissioned, that's the word I was looking for earlier, commissioned somebody else to take the bowl and find a new way of sticking these pieces together and enhanced to maintain the beauty. And that's where this technique comes from. It's where they get the putting in the gold. They fill it with lacquer, put the pieces back together with lacquer, and they fill it with gold. Cover the cracks with gold. Gold powder is what they use. And the lacquer comes from a tree in Japan. And to them, they use the sap from this tree to create the lacquer, and that once they harvest the sap from that tree, they cut the tree down because they've now taken the life force from that tree and they're using it in their pottery. So they try to keep harmony with nature and everything else. And I apologize, guys, this is taking longer than it should, but I think that's me trying to rush things. I am pretty impatient at times. So this is a really good project to gain patience and understanding, and really to reevaluate, how can I piece things together to make it more beautiful and maintain functionality? When you're trying to start anything. whether it be change your mindset and better improve yourself, your self-worth, your your self-worth, your self-love, and stuff like that. Whether it be those types of things you're doing, or whether it be trying to start a business and you've got this idea that you know in the end can be absolutely beautiful and a really great idea and bring in profit. But you have all these different pieces you have to search out and find a way to piece them together so they make one solid piece and it's a strong business, right? So that's kind of the way I look at this. And I don't have obviously a piece now, but when I started with this plate, I was pointing out that I kind of look at this as when we're born kind of perfect because we haven't been broken down and hurt and damaged by life. Life hasn't really hit us with anything to damage us or break us or anything yet. So we're, in a sense, we're perfect. In a sense, we're perfect. And this just kind of enhances that. This technique shows us that when life throws things at us, just because we're broken doesn't mean we're useless and we're not worth anything. We're worth so much. And in some cases, we're worth even more than what we started with. I'm learning a lot about patience doing this. This glue is supposed to set up. I'm gluing all over my table, getting glue all over the plate. That's okay. No worries. Oh, thank you, Chibaria, for pinning that on Instagram. I really appreciate that. For putting that in there in the comments. Your cold to client roadmap. Okay. Perseverance. You have to have perseverance when you're doing anything, right? Determination. I am determined to get these things to stick together and this to work. Just don't like that I'm getting it all over the table. I want to stick my plate to the table. If I do, then we'll make it work. No problem. I will forever have a plate on my spot to sit, right? Forever have a place to sit, a place sitting at the table. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Now I kind of wish I knew some songs to sing. So we're done with that. My plate will have a hole in it because I did not fit the little piece in there. I don't have the patience for that. I'm not going to use it for eating anyway. You may want to be able to do that. But I don't know how well you can see it. But you got the glue all over. And I just take it. When this glue is all set up, you can sand that glue off and it doesn't scratch the surface of the plate. At least it hasn't for mine. And I'm using like pretty stuff. Leave it sit. I have glue all over me. Whoa! It takes a long time. It's got some gaps in there. But I don't mind the gaps, honestly. I really don't. These are going to be more for my decoration, for like reminding me of, but just because I'm broken or I have been broken in the past doesn't mean I have to remain that way. And I've changed and I've grown and I've pieced myself back together. And I'm stronger now. Stronger now than when I started. It will stick. Just have to be patient and wait for it to stick. This is probably going to be really long. It's already over an hour. It's okay. It's not an all-day project, though. Could be, but it's not going to be.